지난 2부에서 크리스는 자신의 구체적인 범행 방식과 당시 느꼈던 심정 등을 자세히 풀어놓았습니다. 그리고 마지막엔 셰넌의 부모님이 자신을 용서했다는 사실을 듣고 놀랍고 기뻐하는 모습을 보여주기도 했습니다. 어차피 다신 풀려나지 않을 사람이라 거짓말을 할 이유는 없어 보입니다만 여전히 많은 분들은 체포되기 전 수많은 거짓말을 했던 그의 모습으로 인해 여전히 의심 가는 부분이 많이 남아있을 것으로 보입니다. 이번 3부에서는 그가 모든 내용을 실토하게 된 결정적인 이유, 수사가 진행되면서 크리스가 느꼈던 심정들, 감옥에서의 생활 및 괴롭힘, 경찰이 먼저 발견했던 증거들, 내연 여인 니키와의 수상한 대화 등을 이야기합니다. 이 자리엔 FBI 특별수사관인 그램 코더, CBI 덴버 지부 수사관인 테밀리, 그리고 사건 발생 후 최초부터 사건 수사를 맡아왔던 프레데릭 경찰국의 데이브 바우마버 형사가 함께 자리했습니다. 이제 그의 이야기를 들어보겠습니다.
What made you do that, Chris? What made you plead guilty?
I didn't want anybody else to. I didn't want them to go through this for 2 or 4 years. I didn't want my attorneys to lie for me for 2 to 4 years. Like they would have done anything I told them to do.
Sure.
That's what they're. I don't see how they can do that. And that's what attorneys do. Like they take their defendant and they say, like, what happened? Okay, we'll go with that story. Like I told them everything I just told you guys, and it's just like. They got together like, well, if they ever offered a plea deal, would you ever want to just plead guilty to? I'm like, yeah. I mean, if we can end this, end it. Like I was like in September, I told them that.
Really?
Yeah, but it was way too early, and the prosecution was still doing their investigation, still grabbing evidence and all kinds of stuff, and that wasn't even really on the table. So I think it was. Like around Halloween, I think that's when the prosecution went to Frankie's house, and it's talking like, if we can end this, would you be open to that? And that's when like the whole death penalty and everything, all that conversation happened. And I guess they were surprised that it would just be over.
Yeah.
And
We were all in shock. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, that was like.
It's like we were going 100 miles an hour and then we just hit a brick wall. Like that's what it felt like to all of us. So I mean, obviously you had more time to contemplate it than us.
I told John, and Kate, Sylvia, and everybody, Amy, okay, if we can just stop this, and like, I know it's everybody's telling me to fight this. There's no everybody's saying there's like not enough evidence to such and this and that. And I'm just like, no, this needs to end. Like, I don't want people to have to, because for Frank and everybody to have to fly back to Colorado every single time and get reminded of this. Like, I'm sure it's never going to go away, but to actually have to come and talk about it, have other people talk about it, have all three of you get on the witness stand and say what they saw, what they've seen, what they heard on tapes and everything like that. It's just like, I don't want people to relive that over and over and over again for years. Like, if I could just end this for everybody, and then like, if there's any closure at all, they could, it could start then instead of like 2022. But and everything just like, 'cause I know it'd only get worse for everybody.
So did it have anything to do with you not having the death penalty?
No, like, I mean, honestly, like, when I was sitting in that cell, I felt like I should have died. I mean, I was listening to everybody telling me, like, hey, if you do this and this, you can hang yourself in that cell, you could do this and that.
They were like telling you stuff.
Yeah, you could drown yourself in the toilet if you wanted to fill your toilet bowl up or something like that. It was, they've been there a bunch of times. And, like, I was, at one point I was listening to them. I was just like, I just felt like maybe there's a different purpose for me somewhere. Maybe it's here. I don't know. Like, I prayed to God every day that He would move me away from Colorado, like, move me away from like the DOC there, because I just knew, like, they were saying there was a hit on me. They said if I was going to a DOC in Colorado, like, I'd last a week and I'd be dead, because of like the gangs and all that kind of stuff. So like, I just felt like God moved me here for a reason. hopefully I can help people that way. But like, I didn't want my family, I didn't want Shenan's family, all of our friends, like, you know, having to go through that, because after a while I knew it was like, this stuff was everywhere. And I knew like all her Thrive friends, everybody, that was just like, it would just broke just with that hole in their heart just a little bit bigger every time. I didn't want that. I knew it would have gotten worse. I didn't want it to get any worse than it already was.
Did you ever think about, well, you know, it could be very believable, what I told him, it could be very believable that Shanann did, you know, end the girls. So maybe if I tried to convince people that, maybe if I fought with my attorneys on that, maybe I could lessen it somehow. Did you ever think about that?
Honestly, I never even thought about the story until you guys mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wondered.
I never even thought about it until you guys mentioned it.
So what did you think about it once it got mentioned?
It's just like I just went with it. I didn't, like, you know, I knew my dad was out there. I knew it was like, you know, I knew they would probably believe it because, you know, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. And I knew, like, you know, I mean, through all this, like, I got letters from some of my friends that even said, you know, when we went to your house, we could see, you know, Shanann was more of a dominant personality and more of like, you know, you're always helping with the kids and everything. Just, you know, you're a great dad and everything. We could see, you know, a couple things that I never saw or, you know, whatnot. And even my best friend Mark even said, you know, there's always, you know, something, you know, I didn't really get with Shanann. I was just like, nobody ever told me any of this stuff, but okay. But yeah, it was, I never thought about that story. And, you know, that's what my attorneys were going with. And then, like, I think it was probably the second week I told them, like, what had really happened.
What did they say after that?
They were quiet. They were writing it down. They said they wouldn't judge me, so I told them. I told them everything that happened. And they, you know, appreciated, like, I guess, you know, most of the time, you know, their defendant or their, you know, defendants don't, like, tell them actually what happened.
No. Yeah.
They just, you know, tell them, all right, get me out of here. And this is what happened. But I told them what happened. I didn't want them going, if this was going to go, like, anywhere in courts, I didn't want them to be under a false pretense and, like, get surprised. So I know, like, there was probably things that you guys probably knew that maybe if I lied to them and just tell them, no, this is what happened, that it would have, like, made them look, you know, foolish and stupid and just, like, you know, unprepared. And I was like, this is what happened. And they, you know, they appreciated me telling them that. So now they would be prepared. And that's when they were saying, like, you know, if it was ever, you know, if we ever went to them, the prosecution, and say, hey, if we could end this, would I be open to it? I'm like, if it could end, send it.
I know there was, like, wasn't her phone found on the couch or between the couch cushions? Like, did you plant all that
I
stuff?
just threw it in there.
You just threw it in
Yeah,
there?
I
Why did you do that?
I don't know what was going on that morning. Like, even, like, you know, her watch, her phone, like, you know, if I was actually, like, if I'd planned this, I would probably just take it out to the field or something, you know. But,
What
you
about
know,
her ring and stuff? What were you thinking about that?
It's like, you know, maybe she actually really wanted the divorce. Maybe she didn't want to fix it. So put it there on the counter.
She took it off? Or did you take it off?
I took it off.
Okay. Oh, so that would look like she was saying, I want a divorce, I'm leaving it here when I'm taken off. I see.
So the phone and her watch and the couch, was that morning before you left to go to service? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I think Nicole's son found it or something.
Yeah.
What other things did you do that maybe we even missed?
Dropped the phone and the watch. Yeah. I think I threw the therapy book she wanted me to read in the trash. I don't know.
That was that morning?
I think so.
Were you trying to make it look like she threw it in the trash?
I don't know. I just like,
Oh.
I just didn't think nothing was ever going to work again. So I didn't know what was going on.
Did you go down to the basement? I thought the basement door opened.
Yeah, the door is open, but yeah. So there was a lot of movement. You know, I think it was around 4:26 or something. And the garage door opening, the basement door opening, and then of course the living room sensors and all. Do you remember what you were doing all during that time? Other than
You had a lot
going
of
in and out the
steps.
garage.
I'll just say that.
Okay. So like the basement, I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I really have down there is my workout, the bench press, whatnot.
Do you remember going down there for anything or opening that door for anything? Did you think about, well, maybe I'll take her out that way, or is it a walkout basement?
No.
I wasn't at your house.
No,
Okay.
it's like a garden level basement. So
Okay.
But no, I don't remember really. What's that? I don't think I worked out that morning.
Like, were you packing your lunch in the kitchen? Like, did you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
do all that normal
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely packed lunch and everything. Did all that, but I don't remember about the basement. Unless I just worked out that morning, I just don't remember. I don't think I did.
So one of the more
Unless there was a trash bag down there at that time.
Yeah, you got trash bags from there.
Maybe there wasn't any in the garage. I went down there and got one.
Do you normally carry a roll of trash bags in your truck?
No.
So there was a roll in your truck.
There was?
Yeah.
Maybe I just grabbed it and brought it with me then.
That would have been kept in the basement, maybe? Or
Basement or the garage.
or the garage. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Graham?
one of the more kind of poignant or tender moments in all of this was seeing you with your dad when he came in. What was it like when you picked him up at the airport?
It was very strange. It was kind of like I almost knew this was probably the last time I'd ever see him on the outside. In my head, I knew that.
Yeah. What'd you guys talk about?
Honestly, like he just wanted to talk about sports. He's always the kind of like, distance himself from like a problem type thing. Like, when, like if there was ever an issue or anything like that, he always want to talk about, like, just bring up, like when I was trying to get him to quit smoking, like all the time. Like, that's after like I graduated high school and whatnot. He would,
Are you talking about cigarettes?
yeah.
Okay.
And he would always like just change stuff. He'd be like, oh, you heard what happened in the race? Football or something. I mean, he just never wanted, like, he said, okay, yeah, I'll get to it, and then just boom, something else. And I just kind of felt like it was kind of like that. Like he asked like a few questions, like, do you know where they're at? Do you think you know where they're at or anything like that? And I just told him no. And then like start talking about, just want to talk about sports and just like normal things. Just kind of, I'm not sure if he maybe knew anything, maybe he kind of figured out something maybe happened and just wanted to talk to me as his son.
Is it possible he saw that you were in a stressful situation and wanted to do what he always did? Make
Yeah.
things comfortable?
I think that was a good way to put it.
I bet you picked up a lot of that from him.
Yeah, because in stressful situations, like the gray hair didn't show it, but like I try not to be in stress. But it's like I worked on cars. There was a lot of stress because it's always it's on commission. You get paid what you do, not by showing up. So then Anadarko was a little less stressful because I got paid just to be there. But,
Was your dad's marriage like yours and Shanann's marriage, as far as like your dad was the more passive one and your mom was the
yeah,
more
my mom
dominant?
was always the more aggressive one.
Was she like Shanann in a way? I mean, were you attracted to Shanann because she was kind of like how your mom and dad's relationship was, or?
It was like, it almost mirrored like her mom and dad's relationship, honestly, because her dad's like my dad. Because they're both like kind of calm, cool, collected.
I could see that, yeah.
And her mom is very,
Sandy rules that roost.
Oh yeah.
yeah, very. And it's just like, I kind of related it to that. Because like, her mom always said like, she always told Shanann that she would marry somebody that was kind of like her dad. I felt like I was kind of like her dad. I mean, I wasn't like, I couldn't build a lot of things he could, but, our personalities were kind of like, I was always, I think he really liked me the first time he met me because, like, I was helping Shanann with this she had got this car from the dealership that she worked at, and she was driving around and felt like, you know, the wheels might fall off. And I pulled over where her dad was, and I got underneath it, jacked it up, and I was like, you know, trying to fix everything. He said, like, any other guy she'd ever dated would have just like stood by and watched me do it. And so like that's when he really like kind of like me.
Took to you.
It was just like I was always wanting to help people, not to hurt anybody.
Well, and you helped her all through her lupus, and you're at the colonoscopy, and you're jacking up the car. And
Yeah, I mean, anytime she had an issue with like a car at the Dirty South Customs, and like I would just go out to work, and see what I could do with it. You know, I would just do whatever I could to help.
yeah. Well, and I think one of the reasons Frank and Sandy work so well is because Frank let Sandy be Sandy.
Yeah.
And they probably both saw in you that you let Shanann be Shanann.
Yeah, I just like, you know, I didn't try to change her.
Right.
Like I just let her be, you know, who she is.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, she's gung ho. She's,
Yeah.
you know, she knows what she wants. She's gonna go get it.
Yeah.
And I didn't say, hey, you know, you can't do that. And that's what her first husband did.
Yeah.
He controlled everything. He tried to be Sandy, and it didn't work. And she turned into almost like me. She was like, she just kind of like laid back and just kind of like let him do what he was doing. And I think she learned after that she could just be herself. And then with me, she could definitely be herself.
Yeah.
So that's how it worked.
So do you think your dad had any inkling? Because I'm trying to remember the timing. He showed up when you were still walking around. You weren't in any trouble yet when Ronnie came in.
Yeah, I had met with Dude the night before for like 3 or 4 hours. And then I was at Nick and Amanda's house.
Okay.
I met there, and that's when I went to go pick him up.
Okay. And you picked him up. It was early that morning, right?
He was like 10:30, I think, when his flight came in.
Okay. And then so from there, you guys probably drove home and then to the police station.
Yep.
And the talks there were no type of confession from you. Okay.
No, it was like he was just gonna wait.
Okay.
I told him like, you know, if you're hungry, there's like that barbecue joint down the street,
Yeah.
and like, you know, it's good. And just, you know, he told me he never left.
He didn't. I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
He was faithful. He was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he lasted that long without food.
We ended up giving him food.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was great. And the reason I ask is because when I look back and watch the video, now knowing what I know after talking to you today, I can see how genuine he was. But I just didn't know if you guys had come up with some sort of plan. Okay.
No, we never talked about it.
Okay.
Like that. If I had told him anything, he would have probably just told me, just tell him right away.
I think you're right.
Like, he would have still loved me either way, but he would have told me you need to tell him,
Yeah.
like right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, I didn't think I was going to be there for 14 or however long it was, like 10 hours, however long I was there that day.
You were there a long time.
Yeah, but it was, he would have told me just to say, just to tell you.
Yeah.
Did you know walking in there that you were going to tell us? Or did you think,
I didn't, I mean, I knew there was a reason you brought me back in. I know, well, for the,
what'd you think about the polygraph?
that was horrible.
Why did you say
I
that?
don't know how you do that.
Why did you say that?
Because Tammy's a torturer.
I'm not.
No, like, I mean,
Tell me.
You answered, you asked me questions for like 3 or 4 hours beforehand, and then you do the polygraph, and it's like you just break down somebody's brain to where like
Too
it's like
much or
too
what?
much. Jello, and it's just like I know it's you guys have a job and you have a plan, and that's you executed it.
She's thorough, right? There's just
No.
there's
Yeah.
no way to get out of there without the truth.
No, I mean I kind of knew like because right when he asked me about like Saturday night, when I told you about the walking, I was like, man, she was like going through her head. And I was like, why?
Well, we did know, we found out about Nikki right before the polygraph.
I figured that out after with meeting with John and everybody that
Yeah.
she had met with somebody from the CBI, like on the 14th or the 15th. I was just like, hey, they were talking. Oh, okay. So you already knew. So, but
I mean, I didn't know how extensive it was, but yes, we knew.
yeah, I mean, walking in there that day, just walking into that room, I knew I wasn't walking out.
Yeah,
Just the feeling I had walking in that room.
yeah.
Just seeing all, I mean, I don't remember if the polygraph stuff was already in there. I think it was.
It
but-
was, yeah.
but it was, I knew
I just feel like sometimes when people, you know, do the bad thing and they stay, like, some part of me thinks, well, I think they're here because they really want to tell us what happened. Because it's not normal that you want to keep all that in. Like, that just kills people on the inside, and I could tell it was killing you that day.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like that. The 13th when I slept in the house, it didn't. Nothing, I don't think I slept maybe like 2 hours because I just finally just got so tired I just fell asleep. I had every light on. Nothing felt right.
What were you thinking about during your media interviews?
I didn't want to do it.
Why did you do it? Did you feel like you had to do it?
I felt like, you know, they would have just kept knocking on my door until I answered it. And like, I didn't even set it up, but you know, Nicole Atkinson set it up. She told me, hey, Fox
Is
is
she
gonna,
the one who set it up?
she said Fox is gonna be at your house at 10:30. I'm like, what? Like, okay. And you know, I think I even called you about it. Like, what do you recommend that I do? And he's like, it's kind of up to you. I'm like, okay. And I called one of her friends. You know, what should I do? And she said I probably wouldn't do it, but I just felt like, you know, I don't even want to know what I said, what I looked like on there, because I knew it. Some people said it just made it look even worse after the fact, but
It didn't look good. I mean, obviously we can't say, oh, we knew right then he was lying, but I think we all watched it together and went, this might be bad.
yeah, I mean,
I had that feeling after I watched it. So I could kind of see it in your face.
it's like I was just lying to more and more people, and it was just like
Do you have internet access here?
no.
Say don't get into that trap of putting in. Just watching
What
all
trap?
that.
Oh.
The social media trap and all that.
No,
It's
they don't.
ridiculous.
They don't let you have social media here. Like, I think some of the GP guys are getting like these little like tablets or something that are like, you know, the size of like a older iPhone or something. But I think they can use like email. But I'm not sure about like social media. No, definitely no social media. But like, I'm not sure about internet or not. But this place is kind of like, you know, a dead zone 5 for phones, anyways. I would think.
I don't know, we're getting service, which is weird.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would.
Right here.
Yeah, right in this room.
Maybe this is kind of like a hub of
Yeah.
computers.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
is the spot.
Yeah, computer room. You would hope they'd have some.
Did you talk to Nikki afterwards? After all this happened?
on the 13th and the 14th.
What was that conversation like?
It was the 13th. It was kind of like, you know, it was more text and then maybe a phone call, like a phone call, and then she thought maybe Shanann like took off with the kids, like just, you know, because I was telling her I didn't know where they were and all that. And the 14th, she kind of like, I think she kind of thought something may have happened because they hadn't come back.
Why do you say that she might have thought that?
Or, you know, she kept asking me like some weird questions. Like she kept asking like questions that only I would know, but she was testing to see if like it was actually me on the phone. Like
What do you mean?
Like she would ask like, you know, like what's my dog's name, or like what do I like, what yoga studio do I go to, or something like that. And just like, like I just answer like and then like another thing about I'm not sure if this is you. And I'm just like, okay.
Is this through text or is this through calls?
Text.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't hearing your voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible she thought you'd been arrested and we were on the phone?
One, either Shanann had my phone or somebody else had my
Oh,
phone, or
right.
like maybe, you know, maybe she thought it was the
Well, hopefully Shanann would know all the answers to those questions, right?
No, this is Nikki asking me.
Yeah, but if she's asking you your name of your dog and what yoga studio and
Yeah.
like wouldn't
Well,
Shanann know that?
maybe she thought, you know, maybe I was with Shanann, that she was just trying to find out who she was. But yeah,
I
like
could see
some of the conversation, like on the 14th, got a little weird. I think that's when she met with CBI or something, or FBI. I'm not sure who she met with first.
So she talked to you after she met with?
No.
Oh, she
that
did.
was like she had told me like, this is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my friend Jim's place while this is all going on. said not to contact her until this is done. She told me to delete everything, and I didn't delete everything. Okay. I'm not sure why I didn't delete everything, but it probably helped you guys out a little bit. But
She told you to delete everything?
delete all conversations.
Did
all
she tell you why?
correspondence. She just said delete it. Which I don't think you can ever delete a text message.
We're pretty good at getting deleted text messages.
Did when your dad came in, one of the first things you guys talked about, he said, you know, kind of quietly, I cheated on her, I cheated on Shannon or something. Your dad didn't know until that time?
No, they had, when I was in North Carolina on August 6th, when I spent most of the day with my parents and my sister and everybody, you know, they had, I had told them like something like, you know, this, I don't think this is gonna work. Like, with what happened with the nuts and everything, and they're not being able to see the kids, they're like, you know, this is the first time they had talked to me, and pretty much.
Oh, because you went 3 weeks or something, right?
Yeah, because Shannon told me to call him while I was at the beach just to smooth everything out. Because she was like, "All right, whatever's going on in your head, you need to fix this." But she didn't want me to. She didn't want the kids to see him. She didn't want to see him. And then, like, when I did see him on August 6th, it was after I went and saw my grandmother. She's in a nursing home, and she still wouldn't go see my parents or anybody with the kids. So I just told her to leave me there, and my dad would come pick me up, and you know, spent the whole day there. And I just they were, you know, they said they want to see the kids. They just don't know if they could ever, like, you know, just forgive Shan for everything that happened that day. I guess, I mean, I'm not sure like everything that was said that day when they had that argument, but apparently it was like a knockdown, drag out, like bomb that went off in there.
Pretty hurtful things.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. And you know, they just don't know like if they could ever forgive her or not. And I just like I never told them about like, you know, cheating on her. Like they even asked me, is there somebody else?
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
So they could kind of sense maybe something's going on.
Yeah, because Nikki was texting me the entire time I was over there.
Oh.
So like, they could kind of see like I was texting somebody, but it was like they kind of maybe they kind of knew. Like even like when I was in San Diego talking to my friend Mark, I told him about Nikki, but I didn't tell him like I was gonna meet up with her.
Okay.
I told him that, you know, I was trying to like, I should have just told him right then. Maybe that would have helped me. I know maybe he had an instance where there was some girl coming after him, and she was engaged, and he ended up getting with her, and then they were together, and then she cheated on him.
Is this before he was married or during?
It was after.
Okay.
But like he could have, you know, helped me, but I just, you know, I never told him the whole thing. That, you know, it was a lot further along than I wanted it to be.
That's interesting to think about, right? Your dad could have given me some good advice.
Yeah, everybody. Now this is my friend Mark.
Oh,
Not my
I'm
dad.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah. When I was in San Diego.
Oh, I gotcha.
So you think you told Mark about that, hoping that he maybe question you about it, or?
Well, I was, because, you know, Mark, my best friend, you know, I grew up with him since I was like 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
So, like, he had been married before, and it didn't work out. I guess they were stationed together or something, like, over in Korea. And, I should have just kind of just came out with, like, the whole story. Like, you know, like, I just told him, like, there was this girl at work that, you know, I've been talking to, but I'm just distancing myself from her.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. I was just letting it, you know, exponentially get worse. If I had told him, like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
he would have been like, whoa, man, like, all right, take a step back and look.
Right.
And, like, don't, like, fall into that trap, being you're going to be alone for 5 weeks. And there's times I wish, you know, like, maybe Shanann didn't have to go away for 5 weeks. Maybe we all just went for 1 week. Nothing would have ever happened. It's only, I mean, 5 weeks alone, that's the only reason really that was even almost even allowed to happen.
There are quite a few people who would tell us, and who do tell us, you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kissinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there. I'm in the basement.
She was there.
Yeah.
You know, so the extreme is she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. all the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. You know, what would you say to those people?
Like, you know, she had her moments where I had to talk her like off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like
크리스는 이어서 니키가 했던 하려 했던 행동들에 대해 풀어놓기 시작합니다. 수사관들이 이야기했던 것처럼 많은 사람들은 니키가 가장 수상하다고 느낄 수밖에 없는 상황이었죠. 제정신이 아니었니 어쩌니는 다소 신빙성이 떨어지는 근거일 수밖에 없으니까 말이죠. 과연 니키는 어떤 행동들을 하였을까요? 그 내용은 4부에서 알아보도록 하죠. 그리고 사건 사고 영상은 항상 여러분들의 후원으로 만들어집니다. 작은 금액이라도 큰 도움이 되니 여러분들께서 편하신 후원 경로로 도와주시면 더욱 감사드리겠습니다. 저는 쇼킹TV 톰슨이었습니다. 감사합니다.